Hello everyone, I made it to Japan. As you can see, I'm chilling right now in Osaka. So I just want to make a video, just give a little update of what's been going on. So for the past 7 months I was traveling in Southeast Asia. Now my trip's coming to an end and I'm going back to Canada on the 26th, which is in about 8 days. Right now I'm in Osaka, Japan. So I just thought this is a good time to do a little update and talk a little bit about what happened in the last 7 months of me traveling, and talk a little bit about the cult, talk a little bit about their moves, what they tried, different things that happened. So I'm gonna start off by talking about my trip to Thailand. So I started my journey in Thailand about I think it was beginning of April I started, and I spent about 2 months there, and after that I went into Laos, Vietnam, and then back into Thailand again. From there I went to Malaysia and Singapore, and after that Indonesia, and then I left Indonesia and came to Japan. So just a little update of all the honey trapping operation and all the moves that the cult made in order to try to set me up. So the first one was in Thailand. Well, there was more than that, but like the first major one was in Thailand. I got approached by a girl in my hostel. A bunch of people were hanging out, and this girl, she came and sat next to me, started talking to me. Just a normal conversation. I was just talking about random stuff, and then all of a sudden she told me she wanted to go look at the stars at another location which is more private. So me being an idiot, I was like, yeah, sure, let's go do it. So she took me to this place that was above the restaurant, some restaurant that was closed. It was right next to the beach, bunch of beach chairs there, so we hung out there a little bit. I don't want to get into the details of that part right now, but the next day I was going to a different location in Phuket, in Thailand, a place called Phuket. And next morning on my way there, somehow this girl came and saw me on my way there. She randomly just showed up. I tried to ignore her, but then she still tried to talk to me and asked me what I was doing, where I was going. I told her I was going to Phuket. When I was on my ferry, I get a message from her, and she tells me, well, I'm also on my way to Phuket, which is pretty surprising because earlier she had told me that she was going to go to Bangkok and then she was going to go home from there. Anyways, when I asked her where she was staying in Phuket, she told me she was going to go, but she didn't tell me anything. She just sent me a screenshot of the hostel where she was staying, and it was the exact same one as where I was staying. So that was pretty suspicious. I questioned her a bit. She got a little nervous, but didn't really expose too much. But I stopped communicating with her after that and didn't talk to her too much, and went on from there. So after that happened, a few days after that, like a week after that, I had to go to Malaysia. And the cult started some issues with me at the Malaysian border. So as soon as I approached the Malaysian border, I gave them my Canadian passport, and she scanned my passport, and it looked like she was getting an error on the computer. So these guys, what they do is they mark your passport, or they you put you in some kind of system where when you show up at the airport, they scan your passport, and it's gonna give them an error or like a red alert, and then they basically flag you and then try to do further investigation. So anyways, I gave her my Canadian passport, and next question she asks me is like, where's your Pakistan? She asked me, do you speak English? And I'm like, bitch, you see that passport? What the fuck does it say? You think someone with a Canadian passport doesn't even speak English? What are you, a fucking retard? Anyways, then she asked me for my other passport. I'm like, how do you even know I have another passport? Like, where are you getting that information? Like, there's no way for you to know what fucking passport I'm holding other than the one I'm handing to you, unless someone had told you prior to this that I was a dual passport holder. Anyways, they made a little bit of an issue there, held me for 15-20 minutes, and after that obviously they had to let me go. But it was just very surprising that the fact that she knew that I had multiple passports. There was no way for her to have that information, so clearly someone had given her prior information about me and told her that I was going to go there. And they marked they made it look like, you know, it was a system telling her to do that, but in fact she had prior knowledge of me approaching there, and she was ready to deal with that situation, basically harass me a little bit. Anyways, that happened, and then I moved on. I went to another location. I went to Singapore. They played a little game at the airport there, but it wasn't very significant, so you can't really say, okay, it was something serious, so I'm not going to comment on that too much. So what I learned was that even a lot of these countries in Southeast Asia are also being controlled by this cult, including Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, which is pretty obvious. I mean, they control the whole fucking world, so not a surprise at all. Anyways, moving on, I went into Indonesia, and this is where they played the big game. This is where they, you know, really tried hard to set me up. So what they did was they set the prices very low for this hostel. Well, it was a resort slash hostel, in order to lure me there. So I was really surprised when I looked at the price. I was like, wow, this is super low for such a nice place. You know, it didn't make any sense. So, but hey, I was not going to say no to a good deal like that. And I was like, you know what, this is a perfect place, good place near snorkeling. So I booked entire 8 days at this place. And once I did that, I reached there the next day. And the whole place was empty. Like, this beautiful resort at a really great location, completely empty, which did not make any sense to me. And then a girl, on the first day I arrived there, a girl showed up there. So it was just me and her at this entire place. And then she left the next morning. And I was like, okay, maybe this was just random, just me and this chick, you know? So anyway, she leaves, and the next morning, another one shows up. Oh no, next afternoon, another one shows up. And, you know, both of these girls were like very friendly, tried to talk to me, said hello to me or whatnot. And being a nice guy that I am, I responded, and then one of them, I engaged in a conversation with her. She was from Sweden. Talked to her a little bit. She kept inviting me to go places with her, and I was like, you know what, it's really hot, so I don't really want to go out during this time of the day. Maybe later on I can meet you at the sunset or whatever, right? Like, we can chat there. So she said fine. I met her at a restaurant where you can watch the sunset near the beach. So we hung out there a little bit, and after we came back, I started, you know, digging into it a little bit more, because it was a bit odd that me and just one girl at this entire resort, and like, she's being super friendly and she's inviting me to go to places and whatnot. So what I did was I started interrogating her a little bit. You know, I started questioning and asking a lot of questions. So, you know, she got a little nervous, and then I was like, hey, by the way, just randomly threw it out there. I was like, hey, so what's your mission? And as soon as I asked her that, her facial expressions entirely changed, and she could not make eye contact anymore. She couldn't even look at me. And after that, she got super nervous. I was supposed to hang out with her the next day. I was like, hey, do you still want to hang out the next day? She's like, yeah, we can hang out. And next morning I get a text from her, and she's like, by the way, I want to be on my own for today. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And she just leaves. She left. She had made another booking for another night, but she did not stay there the night. She just disappeared. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then I saw a little bit more stuff, but nothing too serious, nothing too deep. So yeah, that was just me dealing with some cult bullshit during my travels in Indonesia, and that I wanted to discuss and talk about, because now I'm reaching the end of my trip. So I thought, you know, maybe this is a good idea to just do a recap of whatever happened. So I'm going back to Canada on the 26th. I have a connecting flight through JFK, So far, I had a minor issue here at the Japanese airport. The guy wanted to do some additional search on my bag when obviously all the stuff goes through the machine. There's nothing really to look at. So, but which is fine, you know, not a big deal. But on the 26th, I have a connecting flight from JFK in USA, and then from there I'll go into Canada. So I'll do another update once I get back to Canada and talk about what happened there, and if I face any issues in JFK or on the border getting back into Canada, I'll make another video and discuss that a little bit. Because as you guys might be aware, US is like the headquarter of this cult. So, you know, let's see what they do there. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. For now, goodbye from Osaka. Peace.